You're watching SBA Today. With all the latest news, stories, and advice, here are your hosts, Paul Long and Tanya Mazurek.
Good morning and welcome to SBA Today, sponsored by SBA Collective for the week of June 30th. I am Paul Long.
And I am Tanya Mazurek. It sounded a little bit, Paul, like you were doing that whole "Good morning, USA" or
Good morning,
"Good morning,
Vietnam."
Anyway, good morning.
Hey, so a little birdie told us that there's more deferred resignations happening at SBA. That scares me. And we'll talk more about this, of course, but sounds like SBA is doing another round of that for non-supervisory. That's like GS 1415s if you follow government lingo. And to me, this is how we lose great people. It's how we lose the brains, the nucleus of SBA, the knowledge, all that. That's really scary. It worries me. What's your thoughts?
I think my concern with it is how are they going to do that transfer of knowledge, right? How are they going to do decades of judgment of freaking seeing things that maybe somebody else hasn't seen? Judgment calls, right? How all of these with tenure that have been around for a second, it's no different than anything across the board, right? It's no different. Yep. When you've been in something for a long time, Paul, think of like you and I, we've been in this for a long time. It's way different than somebody new coming in and or trying to run it with those that haven't been around for a long time, because there's not that person that you can go to that, hey, have you ever seen this before? I mean, we all do that together, right?
True.
We call each other and be like, hey, have you seen something like this? How did you do it? Or what did you do with it? That knowledge is so freaking important. That is definitely my concern.
It's important, but again, I like to look at both sides of a situation. And so then you have new people coming in, new thoughtful ideas that changes and challenges us in ways that we weren't challenged before.
100% agree. And I love that, because I think across the board, we need both the tenured and the new, because each are coming at it from different. I mean, look at how things are changing, right? AI, technology, you name it. A lot of those younger, I mean, they grew up with this, man. They're bringing some quickness, some different ways of looking at things. But I'm not seeing it that they're intending to replace any of this tenure.
That's a good point. That's a problem. That's a problem. Yep, that's true.
It is. It's just crazy.
I understand, anytime you get a new administration, there's new things that change. And, we got a lot of cool, interesting things coming down the pipe with technology and everything. That's exciting. Would that have happened if everything was a status quo? Probably not. Like, again, pros and cons to everything. But for those who are choosing to go the deferred resignation, we will miss you.
And I think it's the consistency piece. I think where we're all just waiting to see is how the consistency is going to continue. When we put in questions, when we have interesting deals, because those interesting deals don't just kind of disappear overnight because people do.
Right.
Who's going to actually answer them? What that process looks like. I mean, who knows? Hey, we're in the middle. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It could be great. It could be awesome.
Here we go.
Jump on the ride, baby. It's SBA. Anyway, All right, guys. Major lender expansions. Siemens approved as new 7A lender. Yes, you heard that right. Siemens, Siemens, right? SBA approves Siemens as financial services as a new 7A lender. They granted small business lending company SBLC status to Siemens Financial Services. Now, they are only one of, 16, I think, non-bank SBA lenders.
Yep, only a handful.
And the first industrial technology company to enter the SBA space. I think
this is the interesting piece.
This is Okay, so expect vertical specialization, manufacturing, energy, logistics, technology, all of those versus the traditional generalist banks. Okay. Could create competitive pressure on pricing and speed, especially in equipment heavy deals. And I'm sorry, I, I that as a problem.
What?
I don't see it as a problem.
No, I actually think this is clever. Rather than another person, we got the license where they say they're going to do something different, but they're really a generalist and they have the license. I'm impressed with this. I'm curious to see how it flows.
Always curious to see how it goes, but here's how I look at it always, right? Is from the borrower's perspective. You get somebody in that knows their business. I think this is bigger than even what it sounds like, right? You get in a group that specializes in what they do. They know it deep, not just generalist surface level, right? They know it from the borrower's perspective, how it works across the board, all that fun stuff. They're going to put a significant, I think, amount of pressure on us, right?
Oh, for
other
sure.
vendors that don't specialize in that. And I don't know that that's a bad thing. We're either going to step up our game, right? We're going to step up our game or we're just going to miss the boat.
I will say when I'm looking at this manufacturing, there's challenges in manufacturing right now. So they need support. Don't get me wrong. They need support. But what does that look like long-term for the program? Energy is always a yeehaw roller coaster. Logistics, that's not scary at all right now. And then tech also has ups and downs. So they're specializing in some areas that an SBA guarantee is appropriate, but just, I'm curious to see what they're underwriting. I'm curious how they market. I'm just sit back with my popcorn and see what happens.
I think it's going to be a little bit of an interesting ride. I think we're going to see things that we're all like, what the heck? And we're going to see things that are like, sweet, okay, I get it. But I think borrowers are going to probably like it.
I think so too.
I think they're going to like it. Yeah. Anyway.
I was on a couple other calls. I'm always on calls. I feel like I live on a Teams call. But I've heard it again from some other top brass. There is a new SOP changing by the end of this year, and it's going to be a disruption to business acquisitions. Now, that scares me as an individual who runs a division that does a lot of business acquisitions.
Right.
But at the same point, too, what is dramatic to SBA could be just getting us to, I don't know, realistic. And I've said this before on podcasts. If I was a lender and I followed SBA lending SOP directly by the book and I approved everything by the book, I'd be out of business in 10 minutes. You have to put in your underwriting.
What you saying you doing over there in your shop, Paul? No, I'm totally kidding.
Not that.
I know that's.
But it's one of those things where it's like you still have to put your institutional thing on it and the risk factor based on what the risk parameters of your institution. So again,
we see this every time there's an SOP change. We see it every time there's an SOP.
For sure.
Whether it's tightening it, loosening it. Some go over the top and jump on board exactly like you said and read that thing to the T. There's no gray area whatsoever. That hurts borrowers.
I agree. See, that's the thing too.
Exactly. There's others that go through and they get the loosening of an SOP or something along those lines, and then they loosen it wide as ever. And guess what? That hurts borrowers really in the long run. They might get in.
Agreed.
But should they be in? And what's going to happen to them once they are?
Yep.
So SOP is.
Well, we'll see, but keep your head and ears around.
Oh, whatever. He wants to say, keep your popcorn close, and we're gonna. That's the Paul thing. All right, guys. Increased scrutiny on lenders. Oh, now this is. SBA and USDA overlap risk. Okay. Ernst calls on SBA to review lenders removed from the USDA loan program. Senate leadership is pushing SBA to review lenders removed from USDA's 1RD program, which we've talked about once before, right? 8 of 10 flagged lenders are active SBA lenders still, yet they're flagged, but they're still active in that space, or they're active in another space. So they were taken off the USDA 1RD. However, what I see with this, okay, so I'll just go through this. Cross-agency enforcement tightening, exactly, right? This isn't just the US, 1RD program. I see this as, not just SBA, but I think government in general. I think across the board, they're starting to look and dig in deeper at how these programs interact with each other, right? If one program is being misused or has a lot of challenges, whatever in it, guess what? I wonder if another one does.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Okay. Aggressive growth. Okay, so the focus areas they're focusing on, guys, is aggressive growth strategies. I don't know anything about that.
No
non-bank affiliations, nothing about. Compliance and underwriting gaps. I mean, all of these, honestly, should be within the bank's compliance departments. But unfortunately, I think what's happening is they aren't. I don't know. What do you think?
This is when I read this, I'm like, I think we talked about this when the thing broke a month or so ago. It's like, okay, Joni, where have you been? Like, this was a couple months ago. Should have started it then. But very interesting how that is going to be, because again, there were some big names on that list. So I look forward to seeing what the report says, which will probably take another couple years and be dusted under the rug, but let's see what happens.
I think the good thing that's going to come from it, though, is, instead of just focusing on the silos, right? They're focusing on the program as a whole. And the more I think that they do that, the more they weed out those who either aren't doing it correctly, those who aren't maybe putting enough of their own time and energy into the program itself and the longevity of it. That's what I think might come from this is, it might be a little bumpy for a second, but the whole intent that I see with it is the longevity of the program, which we all want to make sure stays in place.
Yep.
So I don't know.
It's true. It keeps us all employed another day.
And come on, give the other side of it. I know you're thinking it. It helps all the farmers out there. My goodness, guys, you guys come to us for a daggum reason. And if we aren't employed, if we aren't able to help you, if we are giving the deferred resignation packages,
true.
Then what?
No money for you.
No money for you. I don't know. That doesn't look good. I'm not going to dig any deeper. That just surface level doesn't look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, hey, I want to share with you rates are coming down. Well, at least we think they are. And I wanted to share with you a cool tool alert. You guys know that I get geeky with things, as I've talked with many of you on LinkedIn and given you my code for the AI, which has been, I love that tool that I created. So again, reach out to me if you want the code. I'll give it to you for free, not a problem, and set it up in your own world. But I found a new cool tool, and I could be late to the party because I tend to do that sometimes. But if you have ever heard of Versquare, it is VERSQUARE. No, they didn't pay me to be a part of this. But they have been posting some really interesting things. Yeah, I know. We're always looking for sponsors. But anyway, because we do this for free, as a reminder. When Tanya and I do not get paid for this. But they had some really great information, and they posted several things. One is SBA lenders charge spreads from prime 0, which we've seen that, or prime negative even, to prime plus 2.75. If that shocks anybody, welcome to SBA. That's what it is.
But Paul?
Yes?
Isn't it prime plus 3?
What do you mean? This is typical. This is typical, not... Yeah, this is
typical. They do prime. Oh,
yep.
Prime.
You didn't read my notes this week, did you?
Oh, I read it and I saw it. But at the same time, I've seen so many going up to that 3 level, and I never
That's
have.
true.
But
You
just saying,
can't.
I've seen a
I'm
lot
not
going to
either,
that
but
3
the
level.
norm is 0 to 275.
Right.
So on a $2 million deal, that range is $45,000 a year in interest. And they were going through of what drives the difference. And of course, here's a shocker to all lenders, not bigger loans get lower spreads, right? Because you got to take it off the street. So like, for example, if you're 500 to a million, and they took all of the data from the government. So 500 to 1 million is 2.25, which I actually thought was pretty low.
I think it is.
And my shop's pretty similar to the 2.25, but I've always 275. And then you get to million to 2 million, you're at prime 2 to 3, you're at 1.75, 3 to 4 remains at that 175, and then 4 to 5 million is prime 150. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting how that is shaping out based on that data there. And another thing they were talking about is lender pricing shifts. And it's not just pricing shifts, it's what they're focusing on. So now keep in mind, this is 2025 numbers, but there's some banks out there that are getting more competitive. GBank, everyone knows GBank. They are prime plus 1. They were prime plus 1.75. Well, okie dokie. So they do a lot of hotels, by the way. So over their 200 loans, they were pricing them pretty low. Our friends at Live Oak Bank, prime 1.5, and they were at prime 2. So they're toning it down too, because it's not a secret. The market is getting competitive, right? Institutions that really held steady, Metro City Bank, they do a lot of gas, liquor stores, hotels, prime 1.25, which is pretty low for a gas station and liquor. Byline Bank, prime 275, very typical rates on there. And, again, going to, discussing on GBank, they primarily fund hotel loans. I refer them deals often. Feel free to send me 1%. 214 loans averaging 3.4 million average. That's an average hotel there. We talked about Metro City, but, both price below prime plus 1.50. And their rates reflect the industry strategy, not charity. So it's really interesting that, again, they're focusing on those individual niches rather than being a generalist. And because of that, they're kind of toning down the rate a little bit. So, and of course, anything with real estate, we'd all lower our rates for real estate, right? Like, it's, within reason.
Surprised. There's many out there that don't. They just seem to think that, oh yeah, across the board, everything's one price.
And VerSquare recommended 3 things worth doing. 1, benchmarks against your deal size. Prime plus 2 is mainstream at 800,000, but really expensive at 3 million. A prime 2 deal. So know your tier. Now they talk about get quotes from 3 lenders, and I don't know if I just agree with that, but I run a shop, so of course I'm going to be that way.
Well, have fun getting the quote doesn't mean okay. Oh wait, I'm going to stop on this one, Paul.
Yes.
Go ahead. Get your quotes all day long. Who's giving it to you?
Yep.
Where are they getting the information from? Are they saying, oh, yeah, this looks great. I think we can do this. And I'm going to give you this term sheet right here that says, oh, it's so beautiful, right? You guys are going to waste your dadgum time going with them. They're going to collect all their stuff. They're going to get it to their back office. Their back office is not them, right?
Correct.
And
destroy it, and they come back to you a month or 2 later and say, sorry, we can't get to it.
Destroy 100%. The whole entire deal oftentimes because they lose it. They lose the deal based on timing because they're trying for that little bit of interest. I lost one time on 0.25% up front. I lost it on I kid you not, on 0.25%, right? And I could actually do it. But they got this term sheet that said this 0.25% difference, and they
did they come back to you and say,
yes,
"Oh, they couldn't do it"?
I was getting with.
Can you match the rate? And you gave them one of your 5 fingers.
Pretty much. No, I mean, I had no choice. I mean, I can give them what I could give them because that's what my bank was telling me, right? But what I could give them was structure. I could give them,
100%.
more certainty, basically, because the way I was doing it was not just, oh, gee, yeah, I think this is great. No, I mean, there's different ways of people giving their upfront of what their best quote is. And I think as borrowers, you guys need to know that. You need to know, is this somebody that's just saying, you know what, I'm used to just giving a term sheet here and there. This is our general. Well, general isn't you.
Right.
And every deal is different. And whatever comes out of that woodworks behind the scenes for you is going to either create a problem, which oftentimes creates risk, which creates a difference in that pricing structure. But do you want the deal done, or do you just want the best proposed price up front? Because that's what it's going to come down to.
And our
Sorry.
broker friends
I
know very well
sucks.
that they want execution, right?
Yep.
But I want you guys check out Versquare, VERSQUARE. And the reason why I say that is because you can put in your institution's name and get all the data on your institution, and it's driven towards it's got a broker database. It's got a SBA lender database. I was thoroughly impressed. You can go on there and you can, if you're one of the manager's leaders, you can claim your profile and put you on your logo and all that other fun stuff. Ensure your information's correct, etc. It's pretty cool. So I feel free to check that out.
Is there a price to it, Paul? I haven't gone and looked at it.
That would be a whopper zero, Tanya.
So can anybody go in and do this, or only the
Correcto.
management of?
No, you can claim your profile as management, but your actual being able to see the data, I can pull up your former institution and see all the data. It's pretty cool. Lumos has something like this. iBusiness has something like this, but this one I felt was really interesting because it really, it was a good place for brokers too. Ooh, for those out there who are prospecting loan brokers. Anyway. Anyways, I always like to share what's going on.
Yeah.
So there we go. Close us out.
Cool. All right, guys. We are live on Tuesday mornings right here on LinkedIn and YouTube. Otherwise, wherever you get your podcast, go stream it at any time at your convenience. Go back and check out any of our past shows. We'd love to see you there. If you think what we do is valuable, go ahead and share it with your network. We love that. Reach out to Paul or I on our personal LinkedIn pages, Paul T. Long and or Tanya Mazurek. We would love to hear from you. Let us know that you're watching, guys. Paul and I were talking before this. I'm going to off target again. Paul and I were talking before this that we get all these messages behind the scenes from people that watch the show and recognize and see the value. Go ahead and let us know, man. We love hearing this, right? Anyway, we do. I'm just going to plug that, man. I love that. Anyway, we know you've got lots of things you could be doing right now with your time. We appreciate you spending it with us. So we will see you next week. See you guys.
See you later.